The actual operation and like setup of the City of Ember makes more sense when you think about it as like being designed and penned by some sort of billionaire CEO. Will make sure that the mayors are the only people who know about the box that tells them when it's time to leave this place that they have only ever known.
Yeah, because everyone knows that only one important person should have all the information.
Exactly, like me, the billionaire CEO.
Nothing can go wrong.
Cut to
Everything going wrong.
Hello and welcome back to Nostalgia Club. My name's Victoria and I'm joined as usual by
Michael
and Jino.
Hooray! And today we're talking about The City of Ember, a book by Jean Dupro. It's one of my favorite childhood books. I don't know about you guys, but I had very fond memories of The City of Ember and I have so many thoughts. I don't know what I'm saying.
And this has been Nostalgia Club.
But you were waiting, I guess, for like a...
I was waiting for the conversation to happen and not just me talking.
Well, you said you had many thoughts, and I guess they're going to stay thoughts.
So this is a series of 3 books, and they also
made...
made...
four.
4. Oh, 4 books, and they made a movie adaptation.
Yes.
And
with Saoirse Ronan.
Yeah, young Saoirse Ronan. Before she was cool.
Before she was... This might have been one of her first big roles.
Wow.
Don't quote me on that.
This is one of your favorite books. I had almost no experience with this. I think my mom bought it for me, and I read the first chapter and then never picked it up again. Michael?
I saw the movie adaptation. I think my family and I, you know, when it was like... Yeah, you have DirecTV or whatever, and it's like, oh, we're all going to watch a movie. What's on the pay-per-view channel? It's like, oh, the big night. Oh, we're going to do the pay-per-view. And we watched City of Ember, and we all agreed, like, this is fine.
Yeah.
This is our first time reading the book all the way through.
Yeah.
So Victoria is our guide, holding the candle aloft.
Ooh.
As we traverse the Underdark. I mean, the...
the Underland.
The Underland.
I mean... It was fun to reread this book after having read Gregor because there's like some slight parallels, which I thought was fun. Namely, Poppy, Lena's younger sister, reminds me of Boots.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was something about that I was like, this feels like a familiar dynamic.
Yeah. When Poppy is first introduced, she also can't pronounce Lena's name correctly, which is similar to how Boots can't pronounce Gregor's name correctly. But Poppy is not as present of a character as Boots was.
She has one single, extremely consequential moment in the plot.
Poppy's main skill is finding really important written texts.
And then either eating them or almost eating them.
I read all 4 books, actually, when I was a kid.
You got the lore.
I did have to do a quick download of the lore. I basically just reread books 2 through 4's plot summaries on Wikipedia. If you guys have questions about what happens later on in the series, I can maybe answer. But again, I haven't reread them, so I'm not the most knowledgeable.
I'll admit I did, like, out of curiosity, read through the Wikipedia plot summaries as well.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that if I do have any questions, you'll have, like, retained some more detail.
I have, like, slightly more knowledge about the second one, The People of Sparks, but 3 and 4 are so fuzzy.
Honestly, 3 seemed very interesting to me.
3 is fascinating, but I remember...
Because it's a
Because
prequel.
I read it, I think, while it was coming out. Like, I think I read City of Ember and then People of Sparks, and then the 3rd book had not come out yet. So I was, like, waiting. And then when it came out, I was like, this is different than the other 2 books. And then the 4th book, we get back to our main characters a little bit.
I see. Michael, what are your vibes?
My vibes were, this is good.
Yeah.
There's nothing about City of Ember that makes me go like, oh, this could have been X or Y or Z, or, oh, I feel like something's missing here. I feel like I got what I paid for. I didn't pay anything.
Michael, you stole the book?
Of course not. I utilized my local library.
Hooray! For me, this book felt... so it came out in 2003. So before the big, like, YA post-apocalypse phase. But this isn't a YA book. This is a kid's book, right?
Yeah.
Younger demographic. Came out before Hunger Games, Divergent, all of that. And so it feels... you know how, like, Dune feels derivative of Star Wars, even though Dune came first. City of Ember feels derivative of maybe like Suzanne Collins' writings, even though City of Ember came first. It feels like the blueprint. And so it's
prototype.
not the prototype, and it's for a younger audience. So it's not as exciting for me, but it did feel grounded and important.
Yeah.
It just didn't like grab me.
That makes sense. When I was rereading it, I think I had forgotten that they didn't spend most of their time looking for the exit. In my brain, I was like, oh, most of the book is them looking for the way out of Ember, so it's more action-y, adventure-y, even though once they find the exit, it's mostly not that harrowing. But upon reading, it's much more about the city and about the characters deciding whether they should leave or how they should tell other people, and less about actually finding the exit.
Yeah, it really sits in like world building and culture. And also like, it's like kind of like a character study almost about these like two kids, especially Dune.
Doon.
Yeah, Dune Harrow is the secondary protagonist.
My candle, my bug, my Dune. I feel like we get a lot of like brief studies of Dune psychology of like, he should tell people about this thing, but he doesn't. And he has multiple opportunities to divulge this really important information, but he's sort of selfish. Like he wants the glory. He wants to be important. He so desperately wants to be important. And it's sort of like justified by his desire for that importance to be directly related to helping people. He wants to save people, but that instinct also leads to like his downfall, sort of. In the book, up until the very end, he and Lena don't save anyone.
Yeah.
Until like maybe and even then the end is left ambiguous. I thought that was very interesting. But again, because it's written for a younger audience and the book very accurately represents 12-year-olds, they're not as active as like a YA protagonist would be. And they don't make the best decisions, not because they're dumb, but because they're kids with less agency in the world.
Yeah.
And so at times it can feel frustrating as an adult to read them and be like, if only you had done this or this, a very simple, safe thing to do. But they're kids. They don't know what's happening. They don't know the gravity of what they've discovered. So, you know, it's fun.
Yeah, I definitely agree that the plot and the characters aren't as strong reading this book as an adult, but just the overall vibe and concept of the world still gets me.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is just so interesting, and the concept of the world, that's really just the city that they live in, because aside from the city, they don't know anything that's beyond because there's no light anywhere else underground, which does imply a sort of hollow earth theory, but
So like in reading the extra Wikipedia plot summaries, I discovered that like this, like the City of Ember is sort of near San Francisco. So I'm like, what if in the Underland Chronicles?
I actually saw a post where someone was like, in my head, canonically, the City of Ember and the Underland Chronicles are in the same universe. They're just
way far
separate.
apart.
Yeah.
The West Coast is just a very unpopulated Underland.
I like that.
I think it's fun. But I also like the idea because there's, in the City of Ember, they're always like, what is it, like the uncharted lands that you're not supposed to go into? Because there's
unknown regions.
The unknown regions, yes. I like the idea that technically the unknown regions are like maybe like a mile away from the city, and then it just stops and it's just like wall. But no one's ever gotten that far or seen that far.
It could be.
It'd be really funny if like their vantage point is like this small circle and there's like a slightly bigger circle around it. And that's technically all that exists.
Like, oh. Thinking about it though, I do love the idea that meanwhile, this would be like in the past because this is sort of post-apocalyptic, the City of Ember. Poor Gregor is having like the most harrowing experience like a young person could go through with war and political strife and like confronting the harrowing nature of a nuanced and extremely bitter reality. And Lena's like, I get to run around my city and deliver the mail.
Oh, what colored pencil should I buy?
But the post-apocalyptic vibes are so good.
They are.
Yeah.
I still remember the visual language of the film itself, and I had that in mind when I was reading the book.
Yeah, so the movie is not quite as faithful to the book. So I think some people have problems with the movie. I haven't watched the movie in a while, but I remember, again, just liking that I could see all the places that I'd been visualizing while I was reading. I was obsessed with being a messenger after reading this book. I don't know why. Like, I don't even like running, guys.
Yeah,
but I was like, no, the idea of like having that red cape and just running around the city and being that person who delivers messages, I was like, yeah.
How many like personalities, how many like Victoria iterations inspired by fiction have
so many.
You described it like I was obsessed with being a messenger, and in my brain I can be like, okay, so this was like Victoria's whole thing for like several months. For all I know, it was like 3 days.
Well,
because you read
probably
so
that
much.
I was obsessed with it while being obsessed with other things simultaneously.
But it is objectively the coolest job to be assigned, which we'll get into the whole assignment thing, which is wild to me. But like, I mean, no, I totally agree. Like the concept of like putting on a cool cape and then being able to run around the city, like complete freedom.
Yeah.
You know the whole city, like you've got it memorized.
I
you
think
talk
it
to
was
people.
partially, when I was a kid, I just overall had the fantasy of just being able to go wherever I wanted, whenever I wanted. Like I wish that my friends were closer by so I could just like run to their house. So I think the idea of a city where everyone knows each other and you don't need transportation to get around really appealed to me as a kid. And still does, technically.
Should we attempt a plot summary?
Let's try. I'll do my best. For this one, it is slightly episodic, where there are some chapters where it's just like Jino said, Lena decides to go to the store to find some colored pencils. But it is kind of plot relevant at the same time.
Subtly plot relevant.
Subtly plot relevant, yes.
Thematic, at least.
Yeah. So the City of Ember follows Lena Mayfleet, who is 12 years old. She is about to receive her job assignment. And the way it works in Ember, which is the city that is underground, but the characters don't realize that at the beginning. There's a prologue where the builders talk about, we're building the city, and then we're going to give them instructions on how to leave. They're only supposed to be there for like 200 years. And we'll give the instructions to the mayor in this box that won't open until 200 years later. By the 7th mayor, the mayor tries to break into it because he thinks there's like treasure or something in there.
I think it was like he got like an illness and he was like,
right, yes, there was like an illness that was going
box.
around at that time, like some kind of like plague. And he was like, oh, maybe the cure is in this box. So he tries to get in, he doesn't succeed, and then he dies before he can pass the box on to the next mayor. So then the box is lost and it's buried in a closet somewhere. Who knows who's going to find it? I wonder if it's our main character, Lena Mayfleet. Anyways, it's assignment day. So how it works is when you're 12, you stop going to school and you draw available jobs from a hat or like a box or something.
Non-sentient hat.
Yeah. And once you get that job, you're locked in for about 3 years. And then they'll see how you do at that job. And then you might get an opportunity to change jobs. But obviously, it depends on what jobs are also available at the time. It's a very, like, everyone in the community works together and everyone has their designated role. So Lena desperately wants to be a messenger. That's her dream. But it's very rare and everyone wants to be a messenger because it's one of the best jobs.
It's not backbreaking.
And yeah. Then there's another character who's one of her classmates named Dune Harrow. And Lena and Dune used to be best friends until they were about 7. Dune like fell down a pole and then Lena laughed at him along with some other kids. And ever since then, he's like held a grudge. But it was so long ago that now like they don't really dislike each other. It's been so long since they were friends that they're not friends anymore. Anyways, Dune really wants to work near the generator or on the generator directly because Ember's been having problems where the lights just go dark. Like they just have citywide blackouts. And obviously in Ember, that's a huge deal because if the lights go out permanently, no one can they're basically dead. Like nothing can be done about it. They don't have flashlights or portable lamps. They don't have candles. So there's no way to create light or have light that
They don't know
can move
how.
around. They don't know how.
They've lost all knowledge of how technology works. They only know how to put it back together, but they don't know why it works.
Yeah.
They don't know how to make a portable light because they don't understand electricity or fire. They don't know how to make fire.
They know how to make fire in theory,
I guess.
but they don't know how to, like, all they can do is just light some paper on fire and then it goes out.
Yeah.
So they don't know how to make that fire last.
Like flint and steel matches kerosene, all of that is like a mystery to them.
Yeah.
But they know if they press the gas stove, it'll turn on.
And part of it is because their knowledge of the world is only the items that the builders gave them. So the builders did not want them to have flashlights, which in hindsight is kind of dumb.
These
but
builders
okay.
are real sus. The more you learn about the world, you're like, what are they doing?
Yeah, we'll talk about these builders, but so Dune really wants to work on the generator because he just wants to do something to help the situation. He's tired of people seeming kind of complacent about the problems, which makes sense because, again, they don't know what's going on. So how would they know how to fix it? But Dune is like, if I just see it, I can fix it. He ends up drawing the messenger role. And everyone else in class is like, whoa, so lucky. And he is visibly upset. And Lena is like, why are you upset? You just got my dream job. And then Lena gets a job at Pipeworks, which is basically just like the underground sewer and plumbing system of Ember.
It's not even like Pipeworks technician or engineer. It's Pipeworks laborer.
Yeah.
Which you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. What ends up happening is Lena and Dune switch jobs because Dune has the job that Lena wants most in the world, and Pipeworks is close enough to the generator that it's good enough for Dune. So they switch. Lena goes to her first day as a messenger, and she's so excited. She loves it. She sends a bunch of messages, one of which is to the mayor. So she gets to meet the mayor and tell him that a delivery will be at 8 p.m. What's that about? Don't know. And she moves on with her life.
The mayor just grins with great self-satisfaction and goes,
Yeah.
yum, yum, hooray. And you're like, okay.
Also, another thing to note is that Ember is also running low on supplies. They're starting to run out of light bulbs. A lot of canned food has started to become obsolete. So, like, her grandma says, oh, like, I've had peaches 4 or 5 times in my lifetime, but there aren't peaches at the store anymore.
The fact that the peaches have survived hundreds of years is honestly astounding to me.
What are these cans made of?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's once you start thinking about it, it's like they had to put in 200 years worth of food into this underground city. They have no way of getting more. There's no trade or anything. They do have greenhouses, so they can grow food. But it's mainly like potatoes, turnips, carrots, that sort of thing.
Theoretically, maybe like 100 years ago, they were still canning things.
Yeah.
And then maybe like peaches went extinct or something. And so they have cans from like 70 years ago. What's that stuff in holes? Like the peach sploosh. Like they're like, peaches. And it's just like liquefied, fermented. They're like, delicious. This is what a peach is.
People getting inebriated off of like heavily fermented fruit matter in cans.
Oh my gosh. Lena has a friend who works at the storerooms and also a friend who works at the greenhouse. So that's where we get an idea of how bad the situation is. For example, Clary, who works at the greenhouse.
She's like not like a kid. She's a woman.
she's an adult. But she tells Lena, like, I had to throw out a whole thing of potatoes because they all had some kind of disease and it made them all squishy, so we can't eat those. So everyone's just generally anxious and worried about what's going to happen. She passes by the storeroom and she sees someone ask for like 5 cases of carrots and they say, we can only give you 1. So the disparity of what people want and need versus what they can actually get is getting bigger.
Lena also gets like the front row seat of it because she's delivering messages.
Yes.
And from day one, all the messages that she's delivering are basically like, don't come over. I don't have any dinner to give you.
Yeah. Or like, do you have extra turnips? And then the other person will say, no, sorry. So,
or like, my stove is broken.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's going to get fixed. So immediately all her messages are just like, it's like internet doom scrolling for the city of Ember.
Oh, no, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm so excited for my first day at work. Society's crumbling. Society's crumbling. Society's crumbling.
At one point, there is a blackout. And the next day, Lena says that all of the messages were just people saying, I can't come over today, or I don't want to leave my house because they're worried about the blackout. It's just like great. But like Lena's job is the perfect avenue for us to learn about this city because you get to hear from so many different people, even without context. You're just like, yep, bad stuff is happening.
And it seems like it's surprising a number of people in some ways. Like, it feels like things have been bad, but now they're taking a quick plummet into really bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
part
escalating.
Part of it is because the mayor is not really doing anything to resolve the situation. So I'm going to assume, even though we haven't seen it, but just knowing how mayors usually function, I'm going to assume that before the book started, anytime there were blackouts, the mayor would just be like, it's fine, don't worry about it, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And people just were like, well, we can't do anything about it, so I guess we'll just keep living our lives. But then the frequency of the blackouts and the mass shortage of food is really starting to worry people. Meanwhile, Dune goes to his first day at Pipeworks. His job at Pipeworks is mostly just, you're told, like, go to this sector and fix this pipe leak, and then you go and you fix it. And then the rest of the day, you might not have anything to do. Like, it's one of those jobs, it's like they need a lot of people just in case something explodes. But if there's not a lot going on, then you can just sit and play cards or take a nap, which honestly sounds pretty great.
Scroll Insta. No.
Yeah. That'd be crazy if just in the middle, Jean DePro was like, and they also have social media. We don't explain it. No, but so Dune is like, oh, perfect. I finished my work for the day. So now I'm going to go and explore underneath Ember. So he goes and he gets to the generator. And once he gets there, he quickly realizes, oh, I don't know how to do anything about this. It's just so unbelievably complicated. And he's like, can someone teach me about it? He's asking the people who work in the generator room. And they're like, we don't know how it works either. We're just here to like put out fires if needed.
If a part breaks, they'll just find the closest looking part and stick it in that spot and hope it keeps working.
Yeah, but they don't actually know how it functions. So
it's run by the machine spirit.
Yeah.
I did love when, like, just this 12-year-old from a different department walks into your office. You're like the head of the generator division. And he's like, how does the generator work? And you're just this old man who's been doing it forever. And you're like, I don't know, kid.
Yeah.
I literally don't know. But it's the one thing keeping our society running. Yeah, it beats me. And it's
most
like,
of the
this
people,
random kid walks in and you're like, here's a big secret. No idea how it works.
most of the people who have worked on the generator have been there for like 40, 50 years. But when they first started the job, it was pretty easy. Like they didn't really have to fix anything. It's only now becoming a problem. So Dune is very discouraged. Meanwhile, Lena goes home one day and her grandma, who has some form of dementia or Alzheimer's or something.
Old person's disease.
She has memory loss. So lately she keeps saying like, I lost something, like my great-great-great-grandfather, who was the 7th mayor, wink, wink.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hid something and I need to find it. And Lena's just like, don't worry, Grandma, we'll find it. She comes home one day and her grandma has like ransacked the closet. And Lena's like, what's going on? And her grandma's like, I'm looking for the thing. And what Lena finds, or what Poppy has found, is a box that is like unlike anything she's ever seen. It's got an interesting mechanism to it. And inside were sheets of paper, but Poppy has eaten most of it. So Lena, of course, is immediately like, don't eat that. And she takes out the piece of paper and now it's got like all these holes in it. But it says like instructions for something. There's some familiar words that maybe are referring to Pipeworks. So she's like, maybe these are the instructions to fix whatever's wrong with the city. So she starts trying to piece together the missing words. She then asks Dune for help because first she tries to ask her friend who works in storage about it. But turns out she's involved with this new boyfriend who is stealing from the storage rooms. He's giving some to Lena's friend who then gives some to Lena, mainly out of force.
It's a weird dynamic.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we know the mayor's bad. It's just very clear that the mayor's like ineffectual and selfish. But the weird sort of like smuggling ring is like, okay, the storerooms are empty, except not totally empty.
Yeah, they're lying about how empty it is.
And this one storeroom worker / store owner named Looper is like collecting the stuff that he finds and ferreting it away into a separate room, this like bunker basically, that like the mayor goes to, and they've just stored a bunch of stuff. And so the mayor and his guards, and I guess Looper, and to an extent Lena's friend, who is like dating Looper or something, are like enmeshed in this smuggling ring of goods and
Yeah.
like hoarding this stuff.
Yeah. Lena asks her for help, but it's clear that she doesn't really want to fix the problem because she's like, well, I'm kind of benefiting from this situation right now. And Lena gets a firsthand glimpse at selfishness of humanity. So Lena asks Dune for help. They do their own research. They go down to Pipeworks, and that helps them piece together more of what's missing because a lot of the words that go on these instructions are like things that they've never conceived of. I mean, they don't know what's down there.
Yeah.
So once they start figuring it out, like the pieces come together really fast, especially because near the end, what they really do is they just go down there, they find the door, and then once they go through the door, the rest of the fill in the blank is just like, oh, well, there's a sign here that says boat. So this must be a boat, which is filling in those couple of words that I didn't know or whatever.
And they don't know what a boat is. So
And they don't
they're
know
like,
what a
"What's
boat is. They're like, they don't know what a candle is. They find candles. They have to like figure it out. They almost like throw away half the matches, which stressed me out a little bit. But it's because they don't know what's happening.
That was definitely a lucky break where it's like you have no idea what candles or matches are and you got to figure out as a kid
Yeah.
how to light a match. And
Again,
it's like,
the builders had so much faith. They were like, we're going to send a bunch of people underground. We're not going to tell them where they came from. We're also going to like really limit the knowledge that they have. They even like make like a pseudo religion for them.
I wondered if that
Or,
was the
I don't know if that was like
builders or
intentional, but
just
it's
people.
like, yeah, it's people just like, but like the main thing was like they told the original people who went down to Ember, like, you can't talk about where you came from. The kids who grow up here have to have zero context to the outside world. And so I guess the builders become their religion, but it's all to like make sure that they stay put in Ember for at least 200 years. And then it's like, just kidding, you can leave now. But
They have no concept of leaving
yeah,
in a way.
they figure out just enough that they find the door to escape Ember. So then they decide we need to tell the mayor. But then right afterwards, they figure out that the mayor has this secret room where he's like hoarding food. So they're like, we probably shouldn't tell the mayor now. So instead, they decide to tell the mayor's guards, like, hey, the mayor is corrupt, but the guards are also in on it. So then Dune and Lena end up being wanted, which is like, if I was someone in Ember and they were like, we want these two 12-year-old kids, I'd be like, something's going on here.
For spreading harmful rumors.
Yeah, I'd be
It's
like, what do these kids have to say? Anyway, so the guards are after them. They want to tell everyone in Ember that they found an exit, but now they're worried, like, if we say anything, the guards will just catch us and shut us down. So Dune says, let's just leave, let's get out, and then we'll send word back to Ember, which, like,
Bold assumptions
bold
there,
assumption
Dune.
that you can send message back.
They partially assume that there will be people waiting for them on the other side.
That's
Yeah.
true.
They
They
don't
think it's another
anticipate-
city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't, and they don't have any basis for this, but they're kind of just like hoping. Like Lena's having dreams.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I get it, because at this point, they have
Dreams
no
of, like, San
other
Francisco
option.
or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So like they're not totally shot in the dark, haha. But they don't anticipate that they'll come out onto a surface
Yeah.
and there will be nothing for them there.
It makes sense. And I guess if your entire world is literally just a city, then it's like, what's beyond the city? Maybe another city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing that can be, right?
Yeah. So Dune convinces Lena to leave. Lena is conflicted because she doesn't want to leave Poppy behind. But at first she agrees, like, okay, it's really dangerous to bring a really small child with me on this journey.
Also, her grandma dies.
Oh, yeah, and her grandma passes away. So she's been living with a neighbor named Mrs. Murdo, who's great. Basically becomes Lena and Poppy's adopted mom. So she's like, well, Poppy will be safe with her. But then on the day that they're supposed to leave, there's a huge blackout. And Lena basically decides, I can't leave Poppy behind because Ember is no longer safe. Poppy is safest with me. Lena does get arrested right before she picks up Poppy.
It is a rather quick affair,
Yeah.
Lena gets arrested.
But the blackout saves her.
Yes.
which is a delicious piece of irony.
Yeah. It's actually really fantastic because Lena's like, okay, I'm talking to the mayor. He's obviously bad. He's going to throw me in jail forever. So
The prison room or something.
Yeah.
They mentioned that there's a big, like the mayor has a big belt, just kind of loose. And I'm like, oh my God, he's going to beat Lena.
yeah, I wouldn't put it past him, unfortunately. The mayor is a character.
He's like described as like he's always been a fool, but he wasn't always bad or something.
I definitely think the mayor is the type of person that's like, he probably did have good intentions as a leader at first, but then when the problems started happening, then he just went on defense mode and was like, I don't care about the people I'm supposed to serve. I'm just going to make sure I'm okay. Because he doesn't know how to fix the problems either.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he happens to be in a position of power where
he can sustain himself longer than them.
Yeah.
If he can't save anyone, he might as well save himself.
Exactly, yeah. The mayor's talking to Lena, he's threatening her, then the blackout happens and she's able to escape. She gets a head start, like she's already like kind of pictured her escape, and so when the lights go out, she's like, okay, cool, I know where I'm supposed to go. The guards can't find her. She ends up going up to the roof because she thinks the guards will probably think that I'm going down to where the crowd is, so she gets ahead of them that way, and that's where up on the clock tower she decides to grab Poppy. So she finds Mrs. Murdo. She just is basically like, I'm taking Poppy. She doesn't even have time to explain what's going on. And Mrs. Murdo's like, okay. And Mrs. Murdo is also like, why are you wanted by the mayor? But Lena's like, it's fine. I'm just going to go now. So she and Dune and Poppy leave. They escape in the boats down the river. It's a really long journey. It's actually unclear. It's like either like several hours or just like an hour. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The river is generally very powerful, at least where they can access it. So when they put the boats on the river, it sort of rushes them along.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of peters out.
Eventually they come to a stop. Poppy finds a notebook left over 250 years ago.
Lore dump.
Yeah, which is written by one of the first people who were sent down to Ember. It's described, it's like this woman volunteers to go down. All the adults who are sent down are at least in their 60s, and they're each given a baby.
Which, like, I get why you would do that if your goal is to remove the memory of the surface world.
Yeah.
But that's not a great way to continue society if you're purposely sending down people who will probably be in need of care by the time the rest of your population reaches the age of 20.
It just sort of guarantees that from the jump, you're going to have a significant amount of brain drain.
Yeah. And it's going to be really hard to, like, perpetuate
Yeah, like all
anything.
these, like, 20-year-olds are going to be like, oh, what do we do?
Builders, man. But they get out.
But they get out. The journal gives them a little bit more context for the world that they've stumbled into, which is a field in the middle of
They see
nowhere.
a grass and they see a tree.
They see a lot of
bird
bugs.
and a bug.
Yeah.
They see a moon and a sun.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you're reading my favorite children's book.
and all they can do is sit under a tree. And as a reader, I'm thinking, oh, they're going to starve to death.
Yeah. They meet like a fox. They don't know if it's a fox.
They find plums.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, the fox ate the plums, so it's probably safe to eat those.
Yeah.
And
So,
I
yeah,
was
they're
like,
fine.
you guys
Never
could have
mind.
died. It's fine. At the end, what happens is they find like a hill and then there's like a crack in the ground. And then when they go through the crack, they can see the distant lights of Ember.
Yeah,
and that's when they realize, oh, we were underground that whole time.
Yeah. They're looking through the ceiling of the cavern that is Ember.
Which I was like, what if they just fell in? Scary.
Yeah.
Don't do that. No. So they look down, they see the lights in the distance, and they realize, okay, let's send them these instructions that we've fully filled out with a note saying we've escaped, and we'll drop it down. So they drop down the note. It lands right in front of Mrs. Murdo's feet, thankfully not on her head, because that could have very well happened as well. And she's like, that's so weird. And she picks it up, and that's where the book ends.
Hooray!
Hooray!
So the story of the book is half like mystery adventure. There's this cool world. We have these instructions, but they're all kind of messed up. And
Yeah.
we have to figure out how to get out. And the other half is full-on conspiracy theory.
Mm-hmm.
Something's up with the supplies. Everything's running out. The mayor seems like nothing's affecting him. There's this whole web of like conspirators. And then those two plot lines sort of tie together where the conspiracy plot line is actively hindering the mystery plot line. That's sort of like the vibe of the book. Because a lot of people online, when you mention City of Ember, a lot of people are like, oh, we love conspiracies. Like, this is the conspiracy series.
Interesting, because I wouldn't say the conspiracy is really the biggest part of the book.
It's not, but I think maybe as a young reader, it feels
That's
really
true,
big.
yeah.
They do drop a lot of like subtle hints, like the colored pencils and the canned peaches.
That's true.
And they're looking for the way out. The first time they try it, they find that secret door and it's
Yeah.
locked and they hear that guy coming through. So it's a lot of like these sort of paranoid hints, But because they're kids, they're not paranoid
Mm.
because they're just like weird things. But as an adult, you're like, you should be paranoid
Yeah.
because these people can and will disappear you.
Yeah.
It's like gateway conspiracy fiction.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you guys can back me up. I don't know anything about the rest of the series, but the rest of the series, they seem to have like every book follows a sort of theme. Like the second one's sort of about like immigration, and then the third one's about
Religious fundamentalism.
yeah.
The second one seems to be about the people of the City of Ember make it to the surface.
Yeah. So right at the start of the second book, they've made it out. But now there's like 400 people
Standing in a field,
being like, uh-oh.
eating plums.
So they end up just walking until they hit a town. They call themselves the people of Sparks, so I think Sparks is the town. But they're much smaller. Like there's like maybe 100 people in this village. So they're like, okay, we can't turn these people away because that would be bad.
And there's also
400 of them. They
They
could totally
outnumber
overrun us.
Yeah, that's true. So what ends up happening is they do try to work together, but then some people start causing trouble on purpose to try and get the Emberites and the people of Sparks to fight. And it becomes like a conflict where like one is trying to push out the other. And then I can't remember how it ends, but there's something with like a machine gun.
Oh, I think it was basically after a crisis in which a character tries to use a machine gun, like a weapon from the before times. Basically, the machine gun's gone bad, so it just sort of blows up.
Yeah.
And it causes a fire, and then everyone works together to like put out the
Yeah.
fire.
And then they realize like, okay, we can't be doing this because fighting amongst ourselves will only mean that we all just die. And then it's revealed like, oh, these problems that came up were actually this person's fault. So like they take responsibility for it.
Another conspiracy.
Yeah. And then so
Ah.
they decide to work together.
So, in your recollection, do we ever learn more about the builders and like what happened? Because there's a prequel book, right?
So the prequel, I think people were expecting that it would be really focused on the actual building process, but it's actually not.
Huh.
Yeah. The prequel is mainly about, I guess it would be like the events leading up to a potential apocalypse, which caused the builders to want to build the City of Ember as kind of a backup.
So the prequel book happens before the City of Ember is even constructed.
The main character of the third book is the author of the notebook.
Oh.
Yeah. So
okay.
that ties back. But it's mainly like, she's just like living in, I think it's like North Carolina or something.
How old is she in the prequel book?
I think she's supposed to be young.
It just says she's a young girl, so I don't know.
Yeah, so like
But yeah, she goes to
probably
North
12 or
Carolina.
yeah.
I assume she's around 12, like Lena and Dune.
12 and a half.
No, she's 13. It's very different.
I'm basically a grown-up,
Yeah.
Mom.
And she moves to North Carolina with her aunt. And it turns out like this town has like a prophet who has these visions of the earth being destroyed. And
Named Sandwich. No, I'm kidding.
her name is Althea Tower. So she basically like takes over like the law enforcement in order to get people to comply with everything that she tells them to do. According to Wikipedia, it says like the instructions gradually become more and more strict and unreasonable, beginning with things like no sinners, no singing, no lights, and eventually no dogs.
And then they draw the line there.
Meanwhile, there's also like a geopolitical conflict going on between the U.S. and the Phalanx nations, whoever those are. It doesn't say.
That in particular interested me from
Yeah.
a more meta, like real world standpoint.
yeah,
And I won't go into it,
the
but
United States and a group of countries.
But the thing is, they declare war, but they don't actually go into any sort of physical conflict until 50 years later. So it's kind of like a Cold War situation. But then it just totally jumps from that to when the main character is 60 and she's going to Ember.
So I guess some people online were a little disappointed by the third book. So I guess it didn't meet expectations because it didn't tell people what they wanted to know.
I mean, I guess it technically explains why the builders chose to build Ember, but it wasn't like we're actively dying and we have to build it. I mean, I guess realistically, it will take them a really long time to build a city. I assume like the government told them, we just want like a backup city in case like nuclear war happens or something. And
either
we
that
gotta
or
go
it was
down.
like some kind of gigantic corporate conglomerate
Yeah.
thing that had backing from the guy.
Yes. So it's like an extreme Hail Mary of like, we're not trying to continue our nation or even our culture. We're literally just trying to continue the human race
Yeah.
by any means possible. So we're not going to give them any form of continuance. We're not going to give them any hints to who they are, who they're supposed to be.
Mhm.
We're just going to tell them to live in this cave.
Yep.
It
And we're going to trick them into thinking the cave it's the allegory of the cave, but it's a whole city and someone else is doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
Like the actual operation and like setup of the City of Ember makes more sense when you think about it as like being designed and penned by some sort of billionaire CEO
That's
that like
true,
has
yeah.
some idea about how humanity should. No, they shouldn't know anything about where they came from because they might be tempted to like go back or something.
Yeah.
So I'll hide all the knowledge and I'll make sure that only really old people in their 60s, but like people typically past the point of like starting a family,
Yeah.
exclusively them, and we'll pair them up 2 by 2 and each give them a baby. And they'll raise those babies only to be able to keep the city operational. And then we'll make sure that the mayors are the only people who know about the box that tells them when it's time to leave this place that they have only ever known.
Yeah, because everyone knows that only one important person should have all the information.
Exactly. Like me, the
Like
billionaire
me.
CEO.
Nothing can go wrong.
Cut to.
Cut to everything going wrong. The idea that you can pass down the most vital piece of information this society will ever know through one person
Yeah.
and hope that they will pass it on to one person is
You've got to at least have a buddy system, you know?
you
Yeah.
Like
gotta.
the mayor and like the head of the guard or something. It should be like the mayor and the librarian.
It's sort of like when people theorize, oh, we need to store nuclear waste, and this stuff is going to be in the ground for like thousands of years.
Yeah.
How do we communicate to future generations not to dig this up? Like those signs like there is nothing of value here, or like,
Trying to create architecture and symbology that can be interpreted as bad by people, even if they don't like have any shared language.
But then the believers, that got me thinking, one theory, one pitch is to create a cult, a religion
Ooh.
based on don't dig up the box.
Yeah.
But of course, then the counter argument is that if you have a whole religion based on don't dig up the box,
You're
someone is going to
Yeah.
dig up the box. And so it kind of goes back and forth. Like it's sort of endless.
What would be the name of that sort of cult?
Don't dig up the box.
Don't dig up the box. I don't know. It's got to be something cool.
The no boxers.
The
I was
no
going to be like
boxers.
the anti-boxers. So there's another thing that the builders left behind that we don't find out about until the 4th book.
Oh.
So then it goes back.
It's a bomb.
No. It goes back.
What, the city?
I don't know.
The whole city is a bomb. The builders are like, so if you get up there and it turns out humanity is still bad, just blow it up.
Wait, really?
No.
Oh.
No.
I was going to be like, I called it?
That'd be crazy. No, so in the 4th book,
It's a mech. It's a giant gun. The City of Ember transforms. Sorry, please keep talking.
in the 4th book, Lena and Dune go back to Ember. How they do that, I don't know. I forget. They go back, and it turns out there's like a family that's just set up residence in Ember. Completely unrelated family. And they're called like the Trogs or something. So this family has found, they call it the Diamond of Darkhold because they call Ember Darkhold because they don't know what Ember is actually called. Ember's mostly like in darkness nowadays. But the diamond has light. So it's powered by electricity. There's like a whole conflict between like the Emberites and the family, which I won't get into. By the end, once the conflict is resolved, I think the Trogs family goes up to the surface, and then Lena and Dune get everyone to help them bring up these diamonds, which apparently the builders had left for them because these diamonds are solar-powered light bulbs or something. So by giving it to the citizens of Ember, they can relearn how electricity works. But it's just so like, there needed to be like a big sign that's like, make sure you open this door before you leave. I don't know. The 4th book is like, I remember I read it and I was just like, okay, cool. It's over now. I don't think there was anything particularly interesting of note. The only thing I guess is like at the very, very end, it says like 20, 30 years in the future, Lena and Dune get married and they have kids.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing. Unexpected.
But most of the books, which I think I appreciate, is it's mostly romance free.
Yeah, they're really young kids, and they've got a million other problems to think about. And also, they're really young kids.
Yeah. So that's the whole rundown.
The first book, and when I think of the fourth book out of like the whole set, they seem to me rather like low on conflict in a way. Just in like a kid's book kind of way.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we got the conflict, but we're not spinning it way out of control too much.
Yeah, it does subvert my expectations. You get that first prologue chapter of like, oh, they're going to have this box. It'll have instructions of how to get out. Only the mayor's going to have it. Oh, no, we've lost the box. And I expected like, oh, they didn't lose the box or whatever. Like someone's found the box. Someone knows how to get out, but they're preventing that information from spreading. It benefits them specifically to keep everyone in the city. That's what I thought the conflict was going to be. I was surprised when it was separate, that the resource scarcity conflict and the we gotta get out mystery were completely separate and only intertwined because in order to convince people to get out, you have to convince the power structure, and the power structure doesn't want to interact with you because you know it's corrupt, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
City of Ember feels like, it doesn't feel like it is. It is really, really great world building, and it's really nuanced character work, but it does feel limited in its scope because of its... And I'm hesitant to say this because I think that you can tell really, really amazing stories for kids that can resonate through all ages. But it feels like the demographic limits the scope of the story to where we get just a taste of like this messaging and like what could be explored with this world. We don't get far enough because at the end of the day, like it's a book about kids written for kids.
Yeah.
Which is fine, which is totally fine. But I can totally see like
there's a version of this that goes not a different direction necessarily, but just like pluses everything in a way that like changes its target demographic.
Because the City of Ember really just like barely scratches these concepts that are really, really popular in like modern day, like sci-fi, post-apocalypse, grimdark, like the generator. Like I love any media that's like, here's this really important piece of tech. We don't know how it works. All we know how to do is maintain it. And it's almost deified in a sense. Like Warhammer loves this stuff. And I love Warhammer. Like this whole cultist religious society that's completely dedicated to maintaining old tech, and they don't know how it works. And so they believe that there is a machine spirit, a god inside the tech that just wills it to run. And all they can do is pray to the god that the machine will keep running. You know, that sort of stuff. Like it feels like so much opportunity.
If I had read this as a kid, I think I would have been into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot. And I think that even for my temperament in a way and my disposition, I would have very much appreciated the fact that it doesn't go like too hardcore, because otherwise I would have been like, oh, it's just scary or uncomfortable. It's like how I talk about stopping reading the Gregor series partway through because I was like, things are going to get more and more grim.
Yeah.
It's a little too much for me at this, young age. So I like self-selected out.
We were like opposite readers, Michael. You were like, oh, it's not too bad. This is nice. And I'm like, blood.
It's so nice. It could be much more gritty.
Yeah, I agree though. Like I did pick this book up and read like the first couple of chapters when I was a kid, and the world was so evocative to me. I don't know why I didn't keep reading it. Maybe I just went back to Percy Jackson because I always did. But like you wanted to be Messenger. Like who doesn't want to be Messenger? Like put on a red cape and run around. It's so brilliant to have one character be the job where you run around the city above and one character be the job where you run around the city below.
Yeah.
You get the entire scope of everything.
Their two jobs were actually perfect for finding out the instructions.
Yeah.
Like if they had gotten any other jobs, or if one person had gotten Messenger and the other person had just gotten like, I don't know, Greenhouse. Greenhouse is very important, but in the context of escaping,
Street
not
sweeper.
important. Yeah.
Yeah, but also in the sense of like world building and storytelling. Lena can go from like the highest point of government to like the farms to the manufacturing, like everywhere. And then
it's very useful for the plot.
Incredibly useful.
Yeah.
And then Dune is like, I can explore the pipeworks. I can also check out the river. I can also check out the generator. I can look at these bugs.
Yeah, he picks up a caterpillar and takes it home. He does spend like half the chapters being like, and the green bug I picked up has just been sitting there.
I can
It's not moving.
imagine him like, hey, the bug keeps trying to wrap itself up. Stop that. And he like puts it back down. He's like, stop that. Don't do that. The bug's like, come on, man.
I had forgotten that the bug like metamorphosizes. So I thought that the bug was just going to die. I thought it was like one of those like, oh, he removed it from its natural environment. And so it's like screwed now.
It could have been a metaphor because people have been removed from the natural environment. The bug dies and Dune's like, I gotta get out of here.
I guess in a way it is a metaphor though. If it like hatches when they reach the surface, like you
It
have to
hatches
undergo a
right.
transformation.
It's like the last thing he sees before he leaves.
Are there trees growing in Ember? Like, are they harvesting wood somewhere?
I don't think so.
It's unclear.
2 more pieces of world building that I found fascinating. The garbage dump, like the trash heaps,
Yeah.
and the library. Like the fact that like for maybe 100 plus years, they were just throwing things away.
Because they don't have the concept of like the storerooms have an end. They're just like anything we want or need comes from the storerooms.
Yeah.
It's like an endless grab bag.
Which is fascinating to me because if you build an enclosed terrarium, you don't tell the snails, oh, there's a little porthole here and you can just chuck moss out the porthole whenever you want. You would think the builders would be like, hey, you're an enclosed system, reduce, reuse, recycle, like as much as you possibly can. And they do eventually go to that, but out of desperation. And the second thing is like they have a whole library, but it's not just like books the builder sent down, like curated
it's
away.
books that people have written over the years.
Yeah, which means that like they had a supply of paper at the very least, like a big supply of paper. It raises so many questions to me about like the first generation. I want to know about that. Like for a prequel book, I want to know about the first generation of Ember. What were they thinking? Like we have all this stuff. Like we
Yeah,
don't
was
have
there
to...
like a concerted effort to be like, don't talk about what the storerooms actually are? Because to me, it's like, okay, if I can't talk about the outside world, I think I would still tell my kids like, hey, so the stuff that's in the storerooms doesn't just appear out of thin air. We might run out eventually. So like, don't just throw away a half-eaten can of peaches. Actually, like, use it up, you know? I don't know.
Like, if your chair breaks, don't throw the whole chair out. Like, we can reuse the wood.
Yeah. But I did love the ways that they talked about the people of Ember reusing things.
Yeah.
Like, Lena has, like, 2 precious fresh sheets of paper, but anything else she does, because she loves to draw, she uses, like, the backs of, like, can labels or, like, just, like, scraps that she gets. So I thought all of that was just neat. It's like when you take that out of, like, the vacuum of, like, why are they doing this? It was cool.
Yeah. It makes me think that, like, the believers might be, I think you mentioned this, Michael, or maybe you did too, Victoria. Like, the believers are a remnant of people who broke that rule, who were like, hey, we are actually going to get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, someone has information and we're going to get out.
Yeah, that's true. Because there had, of the, like, 100 adults that were sent down, there had to be at least, like, I don't know, like, 20% of them who say like, all right, the builders told me not to tell you guys this, but I'm going to tell you that eventually.
Yeah. It can be as simple as like, hey, one day someone's going to come down and get us.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's going to happen. And then that just perpetuates, you know, again and again over
generations.
generations.
Technically, like, the mayor was not supposed to tell anyone about the box, but assumedly he did at least tell his, like, grandkid.
Yeah. Lena's grandmother knows about the box.
Yeah.
Someone was told about the box.
Yeah.
In the movie, I recall it's implied that the mayor, who's played by Bill Murray, I think, in the movie.
Oh, dang.
It's implied through the visual storytelling that actually he, like, kind of attempted a sort of coup in a way, and that he killed the former mayor and then hid the box.
Oh.
Or whatever.
So I guess the movie does take a dramatic departure from, like, these 2 separate storylines hitting together at the end. And it's
Sort
more
of.
like...
It's not as I recall, it's still not like, I don't think they go so far to be like, yes, I, the mayor, I hid the box so that I would always have people to, you know, serve me and give me food. It's more like they just sort of plant that in the beginning so you know he's bad. And then the rest of the movie just sort of plays out. That's from what I can remember. Though he does get his comeuppance in the end because they have this, you know how in the book they mention like, there's giant rats out there and giant critters and things. There's like a giant starry-nosed mole.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, and it's like...
this really is, it really could be in the same world as the Underland.
Yeah.
Wonder people think that. Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
a giant starry-nosed mole, and I think it shows up a couple times as like a, you know, like a danger, you know, because it's a giant mole. It wants to eat.
I really want to re-watch this movie.
Me too, honestly.
Yeah.
The mayor, I think, like, things go haywire, and he's like, oh, my time's up, and so he goes to his bunker and like shuts the door and he's like, and then he like looks, he like opens his eyes and the starry-nosed mole is in his bunker and is like, yum, 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 and goes up to him and he's like, ah.
I actually, in the book, because all that's said about the mayor at the end is like, the mayor's not with us anymore.
Is that what they say in book 2 or whatever?
No, in the end of this, yes. At the beginning of book 2, Okay, it's because in my book that I have, there's like the first chapter of The People of Sparks. So I did read that.
What do they say? Is it like
we can't find the mayor?
is it like we got rid of our mayor? Oh man, is he just a regular citizen now?
Here it is. Okay.
No, Lena, we got rid of our mayor.
No, because okay, so this is what it says. It's like one of the People of Sparks says, "Who's in charge here?" And he points to a bald man who I think is Dune's dad. And he's like, "Is it you?" The bald man shook his head and gestured toward the boy and the girl. "They're as in charge as anyone," he said. "The mayor of our city is no longer with us. These young people are speaking the truth. We have come out of a city built underground." So that made me think that the people, like, killed the mayor.
I think they did.
Yeah, or just left him behind.
Here's the other thing that I think people were disappointed by is, like, you never actually see the people of Ember, like, escaping. It just happens. They just pop up from underground in book 2.
That would be exciting.
Yeah.
Like a mini
the
revolution.
follow-up, which is like, how do the rest of Ember react to Dune and Lena's message? Which although I do understand, like, it would probably still be disappointing if Dune and Lena were not in that book, but I digress.
You could pick another 2 kids.
Yeah, there's so many kids.
There's kids.
I'm imagining like Mrs. Murdo gets the note and she's like, she starts telling people about it. She's like, "This is from Lena and Dune." And people were like, "We don't believe you." And she's like, "Okay, it literally fell from the sky. It has to be true that they escaped." And then the people like rally, they go to the mayor and they like to, because there is like, the people have started protesting in front of the mayor's office because they want him to do something about the blackouts. So I could see them like fully confronting him and being like, "We're going to escape." Maybe he tries to stop them, or maybe he just says, "You can go," or they just like fully like kill the guy and then they leave. Viva la revolution!
Because he does have guards on his side. Like, he has a force.
But seemingly not like overwhelmingly.
Yeah, there's like 5 guys. 5 guys, burgers, fries.
Like, the guards,
literally though.
As Lena describes, the guards usually don't have a lot to do. So sometimes they just like pick on people. Because they're, like, bored.
Oh, what a sci-fi concept.
What an unimaginable concept. No, she literally says, like, there's, like, a guy who tries going into the uncharted lands.
Oh, yeah.
And he comes back and he's, like, kind of lost his mind.
Stark raving man.
Yeah.
He's like...
And Clary's like, "Just let the guards deal with him. They're bored and they just need someone to bully." And I was like, what?
How darkness is portrayed in this book is really effective.
Yeah.
Like, how crushing it is, like, suffocating it is.
Be a great audio drama.
Ooh.
Similar to how we were like the Underland Chronicles would be a great audio drama. City of Ember would be a great audio drama.
But
Time
it is
to email that author.
It is fascinating how Underland portrays darkness versus how Ember portrays darkness. Where like darkness in Ember is just like it's there and you can't do anything about it, and like once it takes you, it has you.
Yeah.
And Lena's only able to like use it to escape because she's so intimately familiar with the city as a runner.
Yeah.
Whereas like Gregor, darkness is something to adapt to overcome. It's either like something to fight or something to accept. You know, it's more of like a living force. Whereas in Ember, it's just like, "Oh, it's here. Oh no."
it's the heat death of the universe.
Yeah.
I did have a thought because at one point Lena wakes up in the middle of the night and her grandmother is like crying out for her.
Yeah.
And she's like even struggling to like go and look for her. And it's also sad because that's the night before her grandma passes away. And she just like wishes that she could see her grandma's face and like comfort her that way. She talks to her, but she's never able to actually see her grandma's face before she passes away. And I was just like, dang. Because even like in our world, like when we wake up in the middle of the night, there's still enough light that you can look around you. There's like light from
pollution.
outside. Yeah, light pollution, or like at least some moonlight from outside. And also we can just turn on our phones or whatever.
It's a pretty effective chapter that tells you underneath the sadness of it, like, this is what Ember is taking from its citizens.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, we're running out of food, but it's like, it's literally taking moments from people.
Yeah, and people are just living their lives in fear. Like, they're not as comfortable going to see their friends because they're like, what if I go to my friend's house? Or like, what if I don't even make it to my friend's house and there's a blackout and then I'm just lost? Anything could happen to me during that time. My friend might never know.
Speaking of blackouts, one part of the book I want a clarification on from experts.
Don't gesture to me as well.
From experts. When the blackouts happen earlier in the book, everyone just freezes and they're sort of just quiet and waiting for it to end. But for the singing, everyone starts screaming in panic. Is that because they're all in one place and they start bumping into each other? Is that because the guards like push their way out of the mayor's office and start like pushing through the crowd and causing panic? Because the screaming is mentioned multiple times in like Lena and Dune's chapter, and it's sort of used to mask like their escape a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's never quite clear to me why this panic sets in.
I
Or if it's
also
mostly
wasn't
just, like-
super clear on it, but now that I think about it, I do think the guards running through the crowd is part of it. And I do also think just being in a crowd of people when you can't see anything, like you literally can't even see your hands in front of your face. So anything bumping into you when it's dark, you might like catastrophize and think it's like
Yeah.
an animal or like someone who's trying to steal something from you, or like anything could be happening in your brain that could cause people to panic. As soon as one person starts panicking, everyone's going to panic.
Yeah.
Because you can't see what's happening. Like if there was like a crowd of people and then a couple of people started panicking, you might look over and be like, oh, someone like passed out, which is still bad, but you wouldn't start running because you're like, oh,
Yeah.
let's just give them space, you know?
But if you see people running towards you, you don't know why they're running, but you're like, maybe I should run too.
Yeah. And then if it's dark and then people start screaming, suddenly you're like, oh God, something bad is really happening.
Giant
I gotta
moles?
go. I don't know.
Bill Murray?
Like I mean, I just think like the tension and fear in Ember has been building up for like most of the book. Anything could have caused these people to panic.
Especially right after you've sang the song of everything is fine,
Yeah.
everything is fine. We're never gonna run out of stuff. Oh no!
Yeah.
It's not fine.
Oh my gosh, one other piece of lore that I wanted to talk about is like it's someone's job to like keep track of time.
Oh, but they suck.
But they're like, and at one point, Lena's like, so it could be year like 200, but it could also be like year 251 or like 254. We're not entirely sure.
I love that detail.
Yeah.
Because then a reader could be like, actually, you wouldn't have that many generations. But then the author's like, who knows? It could be any amount of time.
Yeah, like
Slippage.
literally,
Yeah.
it's like the only way you can kind of track time is by how many mayors there have been. But
Even then.
it's like
Not every mayor lasts
not
as
every
long.
mayor lasts as long, and then it does give some plausible deniability to like how they've been able to survive for this long and still have. I'm assuming the builders gave them more than enough supplies just in case it took them an extra like 20 or so years to like figure out how to get out. But as time went on, then they started like stretching out their supplies more so that could lengthen the time too. It's just like this world is so fascinating.
And it would suck to be in it.
It would really suck to be in it, but I think the concept of it like really sits well in my brain somehow.
Yeah.
So
This is an excellent world, rife with possibilities for a D&D campaign.
true.
Or fan fiction.
But like if you did a D&D campaign, then you could get into like how deep does the corruption go? Like how corrupt did society become when you're all like isolated in like this one city? Because one thing that was really interesting to me, which they couldn't go into as much, was like the sense of community in the book is really strong. Like everyone like looks out for each other. Like as soon as Lena and Poppy's grandmother passes away, Mrs. Murdo was like, you're moving in with me.
Yeah.
And there's no question about it. But there was like a part of me that was like, so do they like pay rent? Like, I don't know. It's just like these like small details that I as an adult like want to know or like just make headcanons of in my head, even
Yeah.
if like they're not true whatsoever. It's just fun.
And then when you have a really tight community, and then you realize some people in that really tight community are corrupt.
Yeah.
Oh, you can make a really effective psychological thriller out of this, I think.
Or like one of those like escape room mysteries.
You could do a City of Ember escape
That
room.
would be sick.
Yeah.
I want it so
It's
bad.
very on theme.
And you got whoever's at the console watching the security cameras just flicking the lights on and off every
Oh
few
my
minutes.
gosh, that would be crazy.
Wow. Yeah, because the power's failing.
Wait, who do we need to call? Who do we need to... If we write to
Doctor
Gene
Escape
Dupro,
Room.
if we write to Gene Dupro and we're like, hey, we would really love an escape room based off the City of Ember, and also we would love an audio drama, and also
And if you could do these things in Southern California, please.
that would be awesome. Part of me feels like now that I've reread the City of Ember, it feels like any kind of like underground city that like someone conceptualizes will like be too close to the City of Ember. You know what I mean? Like if I was like, I want to write like about an underground city, I don't think I could without stealing from the City of Ember.
Again, it feels foundational, at least for
Yeah.
like from the early 2000s. Because she does such a great job of like thinking of all the questions, like what would people need to live here and what would the effects of that being, and then answering all those questions in a really like quick way to where like you don't get too deep, but you're kind of like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But also don't let that stop you or you, listener.
There's so many works out there that are like
Underground City.
well, just even beyond Underground
Yeah.
City. There's a lot. Well, you were telling me about what's that novel you're reading that's like Pacific Rim, but not.
Atlantic Rim?
No.
But
No, it was where it's like you have two pilots of these mechs.
Oh, Iron Widow.
Iron Widow.
Yeah,
You can just do stuff like this.
it's true.
And it can be like the same but different. Like you could do like a City of Ember thing, but you take your sort of target readership and instead of doing like a younger like elementary or middle grade sort of thing, you bring it up
True,
to the YA level and just absolutely fill it with angst.
And love triangles.
Mm-hmm.
Two love triangles making a love bow tie, you know.
A love bow tie is actually
a love
so funny.
tesseract.
A love tesseract.
A love bow tie is basically just one person leaning on four people.
Yeah.
Which at that point, it's not a
True.
love triangle. It's one manipulator and four people.
That sounds so
This is the drama
toxic,
we
and I'd
need.
absolutely read it.
You get halfway through reading your book and you're like, wait a minute, this protagonist sucks.
Hey, if someone leaned into it and was like, "This is a bad person,"
Yeah.
this is a story of a bad person getting what they want, I'd be like, "Whatever."
I thought this was about the post-apocalypse, but halfway through, this is mostly gaslighting.
Yeah.
You make a City of Ember, but it's called Gaslight. And instead of electricity, they run off like a natural gas vein that's running out.
Oh.
And then you lean into the conspiracy part of it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And don't worry that there's already a movie called Gaslight. That is why we call it that. Don't worry about that. You can use the name again.
Yeah.
It's surely the what's that legal term that's about enough time passing that it copyright wears out.
Public domain?
There's like a
Eminent domain? Domain expansion.
oh, that's the one.
Still, like, the image of them looking down on the city and seeing the lights in the distance is such a cool image.
And
to
dropping
me.
rocks.
Okay. I was like, it's really cool. And then the next thought in my head was like, they just like kick some rocks down there. That would really suck. And then the people of Ember would be like, ah!
The sky's falling. What's the sky?
Then it becomes Chicken Little.
What if you just poured water down the hole? Like, what the heck?
They don't even know what rain is.
No,
They'd be
they
like,
don't.
why is water coming from the sky?
I'm like, what if they didn't have paper to write a note on? And they're just like, we just need people to know that there's something up.
Yeah.
So they're just like grabbing stuff and stuff.
They spend the next 2 weeks eating plums and just dropping down the hole. People, and they're like, where is this stuff
I think the problem
coming from?
is then they'd be like, the sky gods are gifting us with new
The
plants.
builders are
The
trying to
builders-
communicate.
Yeah.
They're up there. Builders, come down.
Thank you for joining us in this discussion about the City of Ember. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please consider leaving us a rating and subscribing. We really like seeing those ratings go up. No, I don't know.
Please consider leaving us a rating and subscribing because podcasts live or die on ratings, and we really need them.
Yeah.
We really need them.
And it feels bad to say, but like in podcast world, if it's not 5 stars, it may as well be dirt.
Yeah.
So like, if you liked it, just rate it 5, please.
This isn't like liking and subscribing on YouTube. This actually matters. Do something with your life.
Whoa.
Rate us 5 stars. Cut this out.
You can also leave us a comment on your podcast player of choice or send us an email at nostalgiclubpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Instagram at nostalgiclubpodcast. And if you're interested in our other shows, you can also follow us at MouseKnight Studios on Tumblr, Blue Sky, and Instagram. Also, if you like this show, please consider supporting us on Ko-fi. Your donations really make us happy and helps us keep this show going. And until next time...
My pipe works. My generator. My do.